in the Brisbane Bullets and the Hobart Devils to open the 1994 Mitsubishi Challenge season. The Hobart Tassie Devils, well, they're favourites to win the wooden spoon, but they came out and really gave it to the Brisbane Bullets in the opening 3 quarters. In fact, at the first 3 breaks, it was the Hobart Tassie Devils in front. But in that final quarter, the class of the Brisbane Bullets really told. They've got a very strong bench, the Brisbane Bullets, and this man, Leaping Leroy Loggins, when the money was on, he really came to the fore. He finished with about 23 points, along with Andre Moore for the Brisbane Bullets, 23 points. Dave Colbert top scored with 28 points. The Bullets winning by 116 to 103 over the Hobart Tassie Devils. But there was one performance from a man in a losing team here that deserves a mention. Calvin Telford has scored 50 points in his very first game in the NBL. He's an American import. He's a player to watch, even though he was in the losing team, the Hobart Tassie Devils. So in the end, the Brisbane Bullets, very good winners over the Hobart Tassie Devils.
2 other games played tonight. Southeast Melbourne Magic travelled to the Snake Pit, and it didn't take them long to get an early break against Illawarra, but the Hawks fought back to be within 6 points at half-time. Magic leading 52 to 46. In the third quarter, Andrew Parkinson threw 5 3-pointers to end any chances Illawarra had. At the end, the Magic 123 over the Hawks 91. Easy win. And to the boil-over at Carrara, Gold Coast Rollers in an upset over the very highly fancied 36ers Adelaide. The scoreboard, Gold Coast 95, Adelaide 92, a match marred by controversy, but new 36er number 21 Robert Rose, far and away the night's most valuable player. To the NBA, the big boys and Derek Harper shooting a 3-pointer with only 6 seconds left on the clock in overtime to push the New York Knicks to a 97-94 win over the Cavaliers. Harper also started the overtime period with a 3-pointer.
In other games, a 6-pointer to New Jersey over the Trailblazers.
I think that you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Chris?
And in Bloby, Spain, fans en masse took to the referee. The angry crowd disagreed with his rulings during the third.
The AJC Oaks and the Sydney Cup, a momentous week on the turf calendar in
We selected a very, very hard tyre, and we know it's going to do distance, but I suppose there's other teams that select.
Proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors.
Listen!
Welcome to the Sydney Entertainment Centre. The 1994 Mitsubishi Challenge has begun, and already Southeast Melbourne Magic are winners today. They complete a road double against the Sydney Kings, and they go into that match as winners over Illawarra Hawks last night, and convincingly so. Brisbane, the other winners against Hobart. Gold Coast defeated Adelaide Sixers. But Steve Carfino, considering that AJ Winder, the Magic's original import choice, was sent packing last week, and Sam McKinnon is overseas with the Australian youth team in a major international tournament, they are doing very well, the Magic.
Well, it seems like they're the most successful when they have to ruffle their lineup around. Last year, well, a couple of years ago, when they first got Robert Rose, they had to send Milt Newton home mid-season, or early in the season, so they were really looking to make adjustments. They're the best team in the league at making adjustments, and they make them in a hurry, and their team really adapts to it, and they're the best at doing that.
Brian Gorgian, a master coach. The Magic lost to the Sydney Kings in the recent McDonald's Classic, but I think they've learned a lot from that defeat. Let's have a look at the lineups now.
Well, starting for the Sydney Kings, they start the same way as they started all the preseason games. Hubbard, Keogh in the off spot. Mario Donaldson, who's doing a great job for him, Trimmingham and Utah. And for the Magic, well, they've got a new player in there. That's Mike Kelly, and he really wants to stay. He had almost a triple-double, 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists, and the rest of the guys are starting the same for the Magic. Off the bench, they've got Dalton, Brad Williams, who's looking to really switch it into top gear and try and catch the rest of those youngsters around the league like Trahair and C.J. Bruton. Then they've got Turner and Morrissey coming off the bench for the Magic, they've got young Shane Bright, who's very quick and up-tempo player. Sapwell, who's got an injured ankle. Hopefully he can do some good things for him. And Parkinson, 18 points in the third quarter in last night's game against the Illawarra Hawks. And rounding off their bench is Lee Wason.
On the blocks for the start of a new season for the Sydney Kings. They certainly want to forget the last one. And they're ready to take on a team that has not won here for a long time, Steve Carfino. So it looks to be a very fascinating matchup, considering the Magic had a remarkably big win over the Hawks just last night. Here it is, Trimmingham and Bruce Bolden to set it up.
Well, that's one thing that they haven't lost too many times is the tip with Leon Trimmingham. He really gets up in the air and he gets up in a hurry. Let's see what the offense can run for the Sydney Kings if they don't sputter. Leon Trimmingham with a nice bank shot just off.
Mike Kelly, the new man for the Magic, took the rebound, and didn't he have a game against Illawarra? Wanting to impress, he played 44 minutes and absolutely destroyed them. Almost a triple-double, in fact. 23 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, and shot 82% from the field. Mike Kelly, that's Darren Lucas about to inbound the ball. Ronaldson with Trimmingham. That's a good matchup. Trimmingham just tried to block the shot. Kelly nicely takes it out to Graham and gets the 1-2 back.
Well, he's got 2 rebounds already, Billy. Ronaldson there almost kicks it out to Graham and counts that.
2 points to the Magic, opening their account at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Donaldson driving it back. Super Mario with the outside jumper. It's long, but Trimmingham with his first board. Faked and gave it to Utah, who can't quite get it in, but he's got the rebound and not the points. Kelly once again took it up for Graham. David Graham drives on Hubbard. Now it's Lucas back out to Ronaldson. Patient perimeter offense from the Magic. And Billy Mildenhall has found something off the ball.
That was
Ball against Keogh.
That's on Keogh. One thing the Magic want to do is they want to establish that half-court offense. They want to run the break, but they want to establish that half-court offense because it really sputtered the last time they played the Sydney Kings in the McDonald's Classic.
Ronaldson back to the bucket on Trimmingham. Turnaround jump shot knocked down. Beautiful hustle from Lucas, and even in spite of Leon Trimmingham's initial block, Darren Lucas converts the points and the Magic out by 4-0. Donaldson, double team. Here's Keogh. Hubbard. And I wonder if the Magic are going to go to school on the fine performance delivered by Perth in the McDonald's Classic Final. They shut down Trimmingham and Donaldson. Travel against Leon Trimmingham there. The Magic will get the ball back again.
Well, throughout the preseason, that's one call he hasn't been able to work out, is that traveling call. He's been pegged quite a few times on that traveling call. And here come the Magic in their half-court game.
Lucas on Keogh. It's Ronaldson. Kelly finds Graham. Nice inside pass. Bolden turns around with a jump shot. Just cops a foul in the act of shooting.
Personal foul. Greg Hubbard.
A big mismatch there. Greg Hubbard getting stuck with Bruce Bolden down there. He knows exactly what to do. Just jump right over the top of Greg Hubbard. He goes right here. He's got Utah. And Greg Hubbard comes over to help out on that. And that's going to be a matchup problem for the Kings because Bruce Bolden is a lot quicker than Dean Uthoff, and they're going to try and take him out in the perimeter and try and take him to the basket.
Bolden puts the free throw down. Neither of us rated these teams highly in our preseason predictions. The Magic out by 6. In fact, Steve Carfino, I have to say, and I'll say it many more times this year, left the Magic out of his top 8. So they have a point to prove against him at least. Donaldson out wide, hits the first Sydney points for 1994. 6-2 the Magic lead.
Look for Mario Donaldson to be very active on the offensive floor. They really need him to get going. Him and Trimmingham have to have big games for the Kings to produce.
Bolden outside the three-point line, but did he have a foot on the line? No. Yes. 2 points only. 8-2 the Magic. Full court pressure here from Southeast Melbourne. And Steve, that's something we noticed in the McDonald's Classic. Sydney really struggle under full court pressure.
Well, that's right. Whenever you show a sign of weakness against full court pressure, that means every club in the league, after they send all the scouting report tapes out with Damian Keogh with the 3, misses the mark. But every team in the league is going to be pressuring the Sydney Kings because they had a little trouble with it in the Classic.
David Graham, he was absent in the McDonald's Classic. His wife had a baby, and we congratulate them.
Mike Kelly with a nice cut to the basket there, and that one's on Mario Donaldson. He was running a little late on that cut. Mike Kelly was really going to have him beat. You can see him right there. He's pushing him as he goes through the lane. That's a little veteran CBA move I'm sure Mario Donaldson picked up playing all those games in the CBA in America.
Graham drives on the double team but decides to back up. Kelly now under pressure. Turnaround jump shot. And a little foul there. It looked on Ronaldson from Trimmingham. Now that's a very interesting matchup. One of Australia's most promising players against a very flashy import, Leon Trimmingham, and this time Trimmingham lost the battle.
Mike Kelly with the turnaround. That's a shot that he's going to make quite often. You can see Leon Trimmingham just moving out Tony Ronaldson. That was a pretty obvious call.
Bolden driving on Utah, turns up for the jump shot. Now a lot of that happening already on the Magic offense, which is interesting. Hubbard. Keogh didn't even think about the shot. Donaldson on Mike Kelly. Now Hubbard is open for three and makes it. In the cup for Greg Hubbard. 8-5. The Magic leads the Kings.
Greg Hubbard's got to hit that shot. Damian Keogh's got to hit that shot too. Last year, they shot in the high 30s for percentage, and they just need to have better years than that for the Sydney Kings to even have a chance of making the playoffs.
Whoa! Keogh hits the floor, and Lucas is big. Charging foul against Darren Lucas. Let's have a closer look at this one.
Damian Keogh just anticipates where Darren Lucas wants to go. And Darren Lucas questioning how much contact was on that and how much acting there was.
Well, Damian's a veteran. He knows how to milk a foul. Donaldson driving on Kelly, strikes a lot of traffic. And in fact, struck somebody's arm as well.
Let him call on you.
And that's on David Graham. He's coming across the top to try and get some help. Mario Donaldson coming through. He is extremely, just about impossible to stop one-on-one. He's going to have to get some help from a lot of different areas. The guys are going to have to anticipate when he wants to take that one-on-one drive from the wing. David Graham just a little bit late on that occasion.
One thing about these Sydney imports, we said it when we called the McDonald's Classic final, that is Sydney is going to get a lot more consistency from the free throw line this year. Did I do it to Mario Donaldson in a big way? But nevertheless, he's cut the Sydney deficit to 2 points. Magic leads, though.
Now it's the Kings in half-court pressure. They're trapping, trying to change the tempo and get him out of the flow. Mike Kelly with the three, just off. Bruce Bolden grabs the board, puts it back in.
Blessing Bolden underneath the bucket. 10-6, the Magic leads. Just under 8 minutes in the first quarter. These two teams love to scrap. Hubbard bringing the ball up, trying to get up quicker. Well, foul goes against him on this occasion. In his effort to get the ball up the court fast against the full court press.
Now watch his right arm. See that one push out right there. That's very obvious for the referees to call. I know he's getting frustrated by all the contact, but you can't retaliate and push that arm out because the referee's going to ping you with a foul.
Lucas now. Ronaldson. Banks it badly. Utah gets the rebound, and that is a career milestone for Dean Utah. 3,000 rebounds in the National Basketball League. Congratulations to the big man.
Oh, that's a lot of boards, isn't it, Billy? 3,000 boards.
It's more than I made in my career. Mario Donaldson again facing that double team, although this time they sacked off him, and he makes the shot. Extremely cleverly. And that means Southeast Melbourne leads the Kings by 10-8. Kelly, can he repeat that performance against Illawarra? And Billy Mildenhall's found something off the ball again.
That's right. He's got Leon Trimmingham stepping over and trying to get the cutter to slow down there, but see, that wasn't really a cut that was gonna result in a basket. So it looked like a silly foul. He was away from the ball. He's not gonna. That is a silly foul. I can see you try and bump a cutter when Andrew Gaze is cutting through the hole, and you know he's gonna get a basket if you don't make him take the long way around. But
2 fouls for Leon Trimmingham. Just having a little bit of trouble adjusting.
Well, that's right. That's a silly foul because they need him in the basketball game. He's just too important for them down in the post for him to get silly fouls like that.
Lucas misses the second. Utah gets another rebound. And I really think, Steve Carfino, that Dean Utah is the key to the Kings season. If he can clean the boards and these two imports can be given some space to work in, they have some sort of chance of finishing high on the table. And that cuts the gap to 1.
Wow. Wow, he didn't even need any time to gather. It didn't look like he even bent his knees to jump up on that one. Great elevation by Trimmingham. Nice cut by Mike Kelly.
Mike Kelly was lonely. The Kings trying to run this ball back on the transition. Missed shot. Great rebound from Lucas. Claims he got knocked in the face. Waiting for the call. It never came. David Graham.
He's not one to complain when nothing happens. He's a real fierce competitor.
Darren Lucas, a very tough player. Beautiful no-look pass from Kelly. Finds his way back out to the commentary position. And beautifully fended off to David Graham.
Nice pass, Billy. O'Brien Gorgon looks extremely happy with his ball club as we go to a timeout.
And a break. We'll be back with more action from the Entertainment Centre. Bob Turner there, and his new assistant coach, Murray Wardle, who is formerly with Illawarra and has done a lot for the Kings this year. In fact, a much expanded coaching group in the club.
Well, Bob is one of the pioneers of the coaches out here, and one thing that he's done very well is help the team out with promotions and sponsorship, and he really had to take his game to, or his coaching to, another level and just be a full-time 100% coach, and he felt like he really needed an assistant coach to help him do that.
The Sydney Kings won their last two season openers. Despite their bad season last year, they kicked it off nicely against Melbourne, in fact, 97-93. How ironic was that? Nice bank shot there. Darren Lucas in the game, the lead by 5, the Magic. And again, pressing Sydney. Shane Bright's on the court for South East Melbourne. One of the diminutive players in the NBL. Donaldson, I should say, inside to Trimmingham, banks it, and Sydney cuts the Magic lead to 3. And matching up with Shane Bright as the other diminutive player, Jody Austin for the Kings. Brought back from the Comets, where he had a big season last year for the CBA. Keogh almost intercepts Lucas underneath. Darren Lucas having a big start for the game. 5 points.
What's the efficient rate that he does it at? He's only taken 5 shots. He's 3 of 5, and they're all around the basket. And he's very difficult to guard around the basket because he comes off the screen so tough as Mark Dalton checks into the lineup for the Sydney Kings, and they're trying to see just how much depth they can get off of the bench and put it to use.
Trimmingham. Can he show his wares? Opens up Austin for 3. Goes inside for the shortest shot. Sapwell takes the rebound. Rupert Sapwell. If you're wondering whether you've heard the name. Oh! Big reject from Leon Trimmingham.
Well, look at this. Leon Trimmingham reading it right there. Darren Lucas had no idea he was there. He's just trying to take the fastest path to the basket. Rejection.
There's the man Sapwell. Appeared in a commercial. Corner, for Nike. And there is Bolden inside for the rebound to give South East Melbourne a 19-12 lead under 5 minutes in the quarter. But apart from appearing in commercials, Rupert Sapwell's been a real find for the Magic pre-season. Let's hope he continues the form. Donaldson opens up Austin outside the three-point range. Utah gets another rebound, finds Dalton coming through. The 2.
Very nice cut by Mark Dalton. That's one thing you've got to do when they send the double teams, especially in that zone. When they put 2 guys to 1, you got to find the open area and find it right away.
Breakout time from the steal. Austin foiled by Kelly. Trimmingham converts. Mike Kelly did well to get back there. Jody Austin getting away, and he's okay after the collision under the bucket. Andrew Parkinson, the man with the hot hand, comes into the game. Shot 26 points and 5 rebounds against Illawarra, including 5 from 8 from three-point range.
Well, that's a pretty handy guy to bring off your bench to come in there and get 18 points in the 3rd quarter. And you know he's feeling it, wanting to take that hot hand from last night into tonight's game.
He's also a guest tomorrow on Sunday Basketball. Andrew Parkinson drives on Dalton, gets around him. Oh! A lot of traffic there. Sapwell gets in to clean up. And the basket counts.
These teams very active going Parkinson comes in real tough, comes in, draws a lot of contact, but I thought that was a good no call. Here's where the ball's loose. This is where Sapo comes up with it, gets the foul, and tries to finish a three-point play.
The Sydney Kings have called a timeout. Southeast Melbourne leads 21-16. Very aggressive team, and as we said, making the adjustments. They were beaten not by a hell of a lot, but convincingly anyway against the Kings in their last encounter in the Classic, but they have come out with a much better attitude. Let's have a listen to Brian Gordon.
So Sap, Tony, keep working the blocks. You work that, you pop up and work that free throw line there. Keep going inside like we are. Zip around. He's still screening the zone. It's not be weird Parky's in your area. Alright. Keep the defense up. Man defense. Make sure we're matched up. We need 5 guys on the glass. 5 guys on the board. Alright? No cheap baskets for them. Keep them off the foul line. Keep that heat on. Keep that heat on. Know who their shooters are. Everybody on the glass. I need pressure on the ball to take Tremingham out of the game. I need heat on it. Alright? I got you get to the line. You got to press it. Let's go! Let's go!
Well, there you go, Steve. We picked it. Leon Tremingham was shut down in the final of the Classic, and Magic aiming to do the same tonight.
Well, that's right. I mean, he's such a key factor for the Sydney Kings down low. If you can shut that down, and you notice how they're shutting it down. They're really trying to get a lot of pressure on the pass, and they're also fronting Leon. So with a lot of pressure on the passer, that's an extremely difficult touch pass to make down to the low post.
Well, Jody Austin still running the point for Sydney, and they brought in Neil Turner, the tall timber, who really is at the crossroads of his career, having come to the big franchise in Sydney. He really must perform. Satwell, in the meantime, converts the extra point to give Southeast Melbourne a 6-point lead. And we're at 3.5 minutes to the end of the first quarter. Well, the no-look pass went straight to Ronaldson's big hand, and Shane Bright runs it up for the Magic.
Well, that's bad luck by Jody Austin. He's trying to stay aggressive and make them pay when they double team.
Tremingham giving Parky a long double, and again fouls, and that takes him to 3.
See, there's a difference between playing aggressive and picking up a silly one like that. Now he's got to sit on the bench for the rest of the half. Now 3 minutes. That's 3 minutes where he can be a real crucial player for the Sydney Kings. He's not going to help him much sitting on the bench. He's got to be a little smarter in where he plays aggressive on the court.
Parkinson doesn't miss many of those. First points for the game. And it's down. Hard to believe Andrew Parkinson's only 24. He seems to have been around for ages. He was actually in the Southern All-Star team in 1991. Just over 3 minutes left in the quarter. The Magic leading by 8. Austin calling the play, and Shane Bright giving him no time to think. Morrissey. Donaldson. Dalton underneath, under a ton of pressure from Parkinson.
Well, that's just a good foul by Andrew Parkinson, because he didn't even allow Mark Dalton to get the basketball up. Hopefully he gets a shooting foul, because he was definitely going to take that one up. Andrew Parkinson making sure that he doesn't get a three-point play. That's a very professional foul. Ooh, boy, wasn't it a good foul. They're going to give him the ball on the side.
Donaldson to Hubbard. Driving on Bright. Fancies his chances for the underneath. Can't get the lay-in. Lucas driving up court. Dishes to Parkinson. In. 26-16. The Magic looking good.
Well, the Magic really trying to push that break. Even though they've gotten rid of their point guard, they're still trying to push the break. Neil Turner trying to get the basketball. Some good defense from Shane Bright. He really picks up the tempo defensively for the Magic when he comes in.
A lot of problems for Sydney on offense.
Well, he's going to be one person that's very glad to see A.J. Winder go home, because he's going to get a lot more minutes substituting off for the point guard.
Hubbard on Bright, and the Magic are absolutely squeezing the Kings dry on defense here. Neil Turner. Here's Hubbard. Doesn't want to shoot it. Too late now, but he goes inside, shoots wide, and the big rebound from Parkinson. Triple teamed, and patience pays off. Shane Bright Parkinson again. The Magic shooting 53% from the field to the Kings 39. They are really shutting down Sydney at the moment. And right now the Kings don't have many options. They're trying hard on the defensive end though, as we see the jump shot from Ronaldson go down, and the Magic are out by 12 points.
Well, that's a tough shot by Tony Ronaldson on the baseline. The Sydney Kings are really trying to mix up their Ds, just like the Magic are. They go from man, they run a little bit of zone. The Kings you saw them show a little bit of half-court trap, so the Sydney Kings not letting the other, trying not to let the other team get in a rhythm.
Well, here's a trick to try and break up the Southeast Melbourne Magic pressure. Mark Dalton got the ball very early and ran the ball down himself. Neil Turner finds Dalton back to the bucket. Keogh driving, bounce pass. Dalton composes himself and the shot is blocked. Turner can't control it, neither can Dalton. Great hustle from Southeast Melbourne.
Darren Lucas pointing to the camera saying, you saw that. Boy, he is a competitor, isn't he? Boy, they go after everything.
He's doing a great job so far, Darren Lucas. One of those performances where you just can't measure. Turner heavily fouled under the basket. Previously, Mark Dalton was calling for the foul, I think.
The referee says the personal foul.
Now, Ronaldson and Lucas there having a little discussion, and Lucas didn't seem too happy. I'm not sure what it was all about. He gets a rest anyway.
Into the Magic lineup, number 2, Michael Kelly.
And Mike Kelly gets back into the game. Darren Lucas is fired up, to say the least.
He is fired up. The emotions are riding high in this game. Damian Keogh slapping Neil Turner's hand on that one as he bricks that free throw. But the Sydney Kings are a little charged up, too. This is a very important match for both of these ball clubs.
Turner makes it. And so Southeast Melbourne leads 28-17. Oh, well, Donaldson perhaps a little lucky there. Bright, oh, great effort from Shane Bright. And underneath is Parkinson. Dalton with the reject, but the ref pulls him up for it.
Super.
Put it down to Shane Bright.
That's right, Billy. Great hustle by Shane Bright. Look at this effort right here. Looks like he's lost the ball. Comes down, goes to his back. Still has the ball free. Trying to get the basketball to his teammate there. Nice pass by Tony Ronaldson. And the push on the hip from Mark Dalton is the one that they called. Mark Dalton doesn't like it.
Well, the Kings are really high in the foul count here. 9-4. And we haven't finished the first quarter. Parkinson punishes them with a point. That takes him to 5 for the game.
They're really balancing the scoring for the Magic. Lucas has got 7, Graham 2, Sapwell 3, Kelly 2, Parkinson 5, Bolden with 8, and Ronaldson with 2.
The only guy who hasn't scored is Bright, and he hasn't been on for that many minutes. And Lee Waitson, who hasn't played at all. Turner.
There's that full court pressure where the Sydney Kings have trouble with it. Sapwell trying to make them pay on the other end. Good play by Greg Hubbard.
Well, Sydney are absolutely struggling here at the moment.
Well, that's right. They're really trying to make them pay after they force a turnover, and that's what you try and do. Try and punish them on the other end after you make a mistake. Sapwell coming down, and Greg Hubbard reaches through. The Magic right now are an 11-1 run. It's very important for the Sydney Kings to dig down defensively.
Bright, Parkinson, Ronaldson, and shoot short, and nothing going right for the Kings. They almost lost that rebound. Greg Hubbard now.
And that was a good shot by the Magic. They really ran their offense. The Sydney Kings trying to step it up defensively, and the Magic go right down to Tony Ronaldson in the post. That's a good play for them.
Sydney's shot clock is inside the game clock, so they'll have to shoot shortly. It's resumed, though, so shocker from Turner. And Dalton and Parkinson having a wrestle and a half for the ball. And Parkinson even won that. So we're going to jump ball with 14 seconds left in this quarter, and Southeast Melbourne leads by 13 points.
Hands up. The both of you, okay?
Hubbard. Donaldson. Mario Donaldson hasn't done a lot in this quarter.
Well, he had a couple of early shots, but every time he touches the basketball...
Double team.
Exactly, Billy.
Hubbard takes it in, and it's down. Final points of the quarter go to the Sydney Kings, but they still still trail Southeast Melbourne by 11 in a mighty first quarter for the Magic. 30 points. A great effort. We'll be back with more.
This afternoon, it's rugby and the Super Centre for 94, the Magic 30, Sydney 19. Steve, the Magic have been the best defensive team in the NBL for 2 years. Last year, they allowed opposition teams only 90 points a game, give or take 1 point. They kept clubs to only 45% from the field. In fact, they kept their opponents to less than 100 points in 20 of their 26 regular season outings. And again, they're putting the clamps on the Kings.
Well, I think that their theory is no matter how well you shoot the ball or how poorly you shoot the ball on the night, defense has to be consistent, has to be steady. They're on that, to end that quarter, they were on an 11-3 run, and Bruce Bolden was on the bench, and Tony Ronaldson's only shooting 1 from 4. So offensively, they can be a lot better, even though they scored 30 points in a quarter.
As Donaldson decides to take a hand of the game, banking it in. There's the field goal percentage, 34 to the Kings, 52 to the Magic. It's 30 to 21. Well, charging foul call. Pushing, in fact. Bruce Bolden, was it?
Bruce
yes.
Bolden on that one. But
Bruce can't understand it. I must admit, I didn't even see it, so I'll let that one lie.
Brian Gorgon telling the pressure up on the Kings. Walking down with their head down. The Magic on that last possession didn't like the call, but defensively they want to stay consistent. There's the piece. There's the deflection.
Darren Lucas, unbelievable. He did not take his eyes off Greg Hubbard for a second. Sydney lucky to get the ball back. Donaldson shaking bacon and hits the shot. Well, here we go. Sydney cuts the gap to 7, and really it's the imports that have got to put points down for the Kings. If they don't score, Sydney is stagnant. So they've got to either give the imports a chance or open up some other options. As Ronaldson, tough on the low post, puts it down for the Magic, and they go to a 10-point, I beg your pardon, make it 9-point lead.
Hands off him.
They're going to take the ball out of Mario Donaldson's hands and make the other guys from the Sydney Kings beat him. Greg Hubbard is off the target with that three-pointer.
David Graham brings it up, and a pace and a half on this game. Again, Mike Kelly shoots short. Donaldson brings it up for the Kings, and they're trying to just shake Melbourne off this full press. They bring the ball up quickly. Keogh looks for the 3, but no. Donaldson for 3. And did he call the back, Steve?
No, I don't think he called it. I don't think that counts.
32-26. You would have called it, wouldn't you?
I would have called it right the last second when I felt it going long.
David Graham. Kelly. An amazing performer given his size. Drives on the baseline, almost loses it for good, but Ronaldson finds the Bolden assist and puts it down. 34-26. Another classic Dalton screen in the backcourt, and Darren Lucas thinks he's hurt his leg. Dalton gets the two at the other end in the meantime. Lucas wanted to hear more about that from the referee.
Sure
Mike Kelly's got it.
And look at that. Doesn't seem to be bothering him now. He pops out, kicks the ball to Mike Kelly.
Here's Ronaldson, deadly on the low post again. That's long this time. Bolden gets it. What a pairing. And here's Ronaldson, third time lucky. They've got to be stopped underneath. They're looking good for the Magic, and they lead by 8 points. Southeast Melbourne, and there's a little aggro in there. Mike Kelly, Darren Lucas, and Greg Hubbard. What a surprise, the feisty man from the South Coast.
He looks a little angry. His face is a little red on that one. Hopefully we can get a shot of that on the replay. The inbounds is kick to Greg Hubbard. The pressure is Mike Kelly, gets up under him, takes the charge, and he falls on him, and he elbows him, and I'm not quite sure what he's mad at.
Just because Kelly happened to be there at the wrong time, I guess.
Maybe he wasn't a good enough cushion to land on, I guess.
No, he might have hurt his elbow on Mike's chin. Anyway, we're back in the game. And Keogh inbounds to Donaldson.
Now, this is a highly emotional game here. You can't let your emotions get the better of you. Hopefully everybody can settle down and play their best basketball.
It's an 8-point ball game right now. The Magic still lead. And Lucas again, but he's just unlucky not to make more of it. But it does shake up the offense when you just keep getting in the road. Hubbard, a tough shot. Doesn't make it, but Mike Kelly is on his case again, and the ref is on Kelly's case.
That's right, a nice cut by Greg Hubbard. That's what the Sydney Kings have to do. They've got Donaldson, they got Trimmingham, who's in foul trouble, but they've got Donaldson out there. He's a constant threat. He has to be double teamed, and when there's a double team, the other 4 players have to make good cuts to the basket, and that's what Greg Hubbard did, and he's making them pay from the free throw line. One of the better shooters for the Sydney Kings. 2
fouls for Mike Kelly. He's also got 3 boards. 2 points. Ronaldson, pressure from the Kings, but open is David Graham. Now Lucas. Ronaldson. Open is Kelly, and just can't quite hit it tonight yet. Donaldson brings it back, puts on the little stop-start. Hey, 2 points. Mario Donaldson. It's a 4-point game, and the Kings are on a 13-6 run.
The referee has a...
Now every time the Magic have a player matched up with Utah, before it was Bruce Bolden, now they put Utah on Tony Ronaldson, and Ronaldson's taken Dean Utah out in the perimeter because he can hit that outside shot.
Mike Kelly. Bruce Bolden. Turnaround jumper again. It's hits. And it's a 6-point lead to the Magic with just over 8 minutes in this half.
There's not a whole lot you can do about that. Bruce Bolden, very strong down there, hits a fadeaway jump shot. Tough shot to defend.
He's got most of his points on that sort of shot tonight. Donaldson misses. The Kings surge has come to a halt. Ronaldson almost. Good rebound from Utah. On the defensive end, that's his 3rd. 5 overall. And at the other end, another clash. Lucas and Keogh.
Damian Keogh forcing the pressure on David Graham, not giving him much choice other than to foul him. That's a very difficult situation to get in position and take a charge. Damian Keogh forcing the contact, but it was Darren Lucas who made sure that wasn't a 3-point play. Good hustle, good D, good effort.
David Graham most upset about that call, and he and Darren Lucas get a rest.
Well, this is a big game. I mean, we're seeing a lot of situations where guys are kind of flying off the handle a little bit. They've got to really get control and get their tempers on wraps here, because this game has got a long way to go. They really need to keep their poise and composure.
Only 4 points in it now, but the Magic still leads, and they have from the very beginning. Kelly. Ronaldson on Morrissey. That's an interesting matchup. Ronaldson's missed his last couple from underneath. A little bit of extra defensive pressure from the Kings. Here's Donaldson on Ronaldson. Hubbard on Bright. Greg Hubbard has got to handle this pressure. Morrissey misses, and Kelly controls nicely. Donaldson, though, gets it after some good hassle from 2 other Kings. Keogh sets for 3.
Oh, man. Well, the crowd doesn't like it, but I tell you what, the Magic have really been in some real big fights for the basketball here. Bruce Bolden's got it. He's mixed up with Tim's arm. That's why he lost control of that one. Dean Uthoff with the shove in the back. That's a good call.
Shane Bright brings it up and brings a little composure to this game. It's played at a cracking pace. Kelly. Bolden, once again, turnaround jump shot. Banks this one.
Now that's the Bruce Bolden that everybody knows. He's starting to take over. There's nobody can stop him down there. It doesn't matter who you put on him. They're small, big, quick, strong. He seems to score anyway. Greg Hubbard, nice pass to Damian Keogh. And that's good.
Keogh hits the mid-range shot, and he needed that. Now goes to 4 points for the game. Well, that's a good point, Steve. Bolden with 12 points now. Now, last year in a game like this, he'd have someone like Kenny McClary marking him. But there's no Kenny McClary this year. And it shows.
Well, I tell tell you what, the Sydney Kings are applying a lot of pressure and a lot of physical play here, in the Magic just keeping their composure. They want to get the basketball into Ronaldson. They feel like that's a mismatch. He's too big for Tim Morrissey. The double team down with Greg Hubbard, and he's trying to have the active hands, and it looks like a slashing match there with that double down.
Oh, overhead to Bolden. Bright settles the game down. Shane Bright, Parkinson. Sapwell is about to check in again for the Magic. Kelly drives on the double team and puts it down.
That's a tough shot. Mike Kelly. I played against him when he was in the CBA, and he had about 40 points. He just kind of figures out, takes you about a quarter to work you out. Right here, he leans in right there and forces a contact by Mario Donaldson. Looks like one of his moves on the opposite side, and he gets the nice soft touch for it to drop there. He's going to go to the line. I tell you what, don't worry about, if you're a Magic fan, don't worry about him having a slow start, because it takes him a while to work you out, but he knows this game's 48 minutes.
Mike Kelly makes it a 3-point play, and that gives the Magic a 7-point lead. Begs the question, Steve, will Brian Goorjian keep him, or will he keep searching?
I tell you what, last night's performance where he almost had that triple-double, I didn't see all of the game, but I tell you what, he looks very impressive. He's one of those guys that you think you did a good job on him, but at the end of the game, he's got great statistics. That's Shane Bright. He's holding Greg Hubbard's hip.
No basket.
That is a great matchup. Bright is giving Hubbard a lot of trouble there. Just back to Mike Kelly for a moment. 5 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. So he's getting there again.
Well, he's just a solid player. I mean, he boards well. He grabbed the first 2 rebounds of the basketball game. He's very conscious of where his teammates are, so that's why he gets so many assists. And he's just smart. He's like Andrew Gaze without the basketball, and so he picks up the points. He just kind of accumulates points. I think that the Magic, if they decided to keep him, they could do a lot worse. I know that.
Well, unlike the first quarter, where Sydney had more fouls than a chook yard, Southeast Melbourne is in the bonus in this quarter. That's why Hubbard was on the line for the 1-and-1. Long-range shot missed from Parkinson. Yes, clever play from Big Dean Utah.
Well, one thing that trapping defense can do to an offensive team, they can get you to jack up a shot like that. Now, that's a good shot by Andrew Parkinson, but maybe a little early in the offense.
Morrissey. Oh, well, now, the basket's good.
And I tell you what, that's a break for the Sydney Kings, because that looked like it was going to roll off, and that would have been the second layup that Tim Morrissey missed. Here he comes in right here, and that thing looked like it was coming. It might have gone in. But
I think it was going to go down, actually.
I tell you what, boy, coach doesn't want to see that. 2 layups that should be down. He doesn't need that for his high blood pressure.
And after last year, Bob Turner needs all the help he can get. Kelly finds Bolden and put down another assist to Mike Kelly. And 2 points to Bruce Bolden, who takes his personal tally to 14. The Magic leads by 5. And Bruce Bolden gets a rest.
Well, Billy, this is a very good basketball game. We're seeing a lot of different looks, a lot of different defenses. Both of these teams really picking it up on the defensive end of the floor. And both the Kings and Magic are making the adjustments on offense and sticking with their stuff.
Lots of tactics involved here with Goorjian and Turner trying to maneuver the teams. Hubbard hits the 3 and makes it a 2-point ball game.
We said it so many times that they're going to double team Mario Donaldson every time he gets the basketball to try and slow him down a little. Greg Hubbard, Keogh, and the other guys on the perimeter have got to make them pay, because they're zoning the rest of the players. Andrew Parkinson.
Oh! Parkinson just off Kelly. Oh, that was a brick. Donaldson tried to control that on the sideline.
Checking in from the Magic, number 4.
Darren Lucas comes in to perhaps increase that defensive pressure. So does David Graham.
And that's a timeout, ladies and gentlemen.
Timeout called by the Sydney Kings. Southeast Melbourne 45-43 at the Sydney Entertainment Centre.
The Mitsubishi April Countdown clearance is on. And that
Entertainment Centre, and I sense the crowd is a little happier in the second quarter. They were looking a little wasted after the first, Steve. Things, though, have turned around with just over 4 minutes left in this half.
Well, they sure have in the second quarter. The Sydney Kings have really stepped up in the shooting department. They're shooting 67% from the field, and they've held the Magic down to 40, so it's quite a turnaround.
Okay. Mike Kelly in this game played 44 minutes, as I said before, in the game against Illawarra. Much needed out there for Brian Gorgon. Graham shoots it long. Nice rebounding, though, from the Magic. And great control, Darren Lucas. And intercept from Greg Hubbard. Well, big fancy, but finds Keogh's got to hit the three. No. And a lot of time, David Graham. Darren Lucas now, a little screen from Satwell. Kelly firing the passes around the perimeter of the Magic. Jump shot there off the glass. A lot of pressure.
Off the glass. Active hands by the Magic at that steal. Here comes Kelly.
Skids onto the baseline and then banks it in. Southeast Melbourne 47 to 43. Mike Kelly takes his tally to 7 points. Steve and I talking before the game. Steve's Mike Kelly. Yeah, definitely. Mario Donaldson. Mike Kelly is just in the game everywhere.
Let's see if he moves here. Mario Donaldson goes. Well, I can't see his feet, but okay, here we go. Mike Kelly goes there. Oh, boy, that's a tough call.
That is a tough one.
That's why I can't understand why anybody would want to be a referee.
Yep, I was going to say my first instinct was to call a charge. And there's one at the other end on Rupert Satwell, who can afford a smile. Now, the Magic in a bit of a huddle here. Tony Ronaldson had a little bit to say. And there's the foul count. It's tightening up. Still, the Kings with a few more. Full court pressure again. Lucas almost made the steal.
And this is where Greg Hubbard will get tired here because the Magic are constantly putting pressure on the ball handler. And now Keogh comes back to give him some help.
Double teaming Donaldson, though, before the Kings even get it over halfway. Hubbard, Keogh wasn't quite set for the shot. Dalton sets Keogh into the lane. Now Donaldson for two.
That is much better offense by the Sydney Kings. The ball moved through everybody's hand. They're all squaring up to the basket, being a threat.
Great. Well, Sydney's got the ball back. But Billy Mildenhall just having a laugh with Darren Lucas there, who was sent sprawling by Dean Utah. Billy thought it was a bit of a dive. But I must say, Darren Lucas has done an amazing job against the big man. And Dean Utah was open for 2 points. Sydney levels the game for the first time tonight.
That's right. I mean, the momentum has really shifted to the Kings in the second quarter. But the last couple of possessions, the Kings have looked extremely good on the offensive end of the floor with that ball movement.
Donaldson back to Utah. Big rebound from Mario Donaldson. And Mike Kelly just getting in there and tips the ball over the baseline. I know the Magic bench disagreed with that call, but here it is.
Right there, Ronaldson goes up with a little bit of contact from Dean Utah. He misses, and that's a big board by Mario Donaldson. There's the ever-present Mike Kelly deflecting the basketball out of bounds.
Well, Mike Kelly's done everything but sweep the floors in between points. Oh, tough play from Super Mario. And the Kings are out by 2, their first lead of the game. Mike Kelly. Oh, big dive from Dalton, but the refs won't buy it. Instead, Ronaldson gets the 2, and we've got a tied game inside a minute.
Well, that's right, Billy. You know I hate that call when guys do more acting than anything else, than more contact. Tony Ronaldson kept his poise and hit that nice little jump hook, and that's where the Magic are going. The Magic on the double team trying to take the basketball out of Mario Donaldson's hands. Well, here they come.
Well, that man Donaldson, he lost the ball on that occasion. Ronaldson all the way. 51-49, the Magic leads, but Donaldson has cranked it up to 18 points in this game after a very quiet start.
The Sydney Kings looking for the last shot.
10 seconds.
Counting down to the end of this explosive half. Utah buried on the baseline. The ball goes free and 2 seconds left on the clock. Sydney with the inbound ball.
Well, it's good to see the Sydney Kings going into a situation play like that, a 1-4 offense, meaning one guy out there on the perimeter. Bad pass. They've got time for it.
Lucas! Oh, so close. And that just about sums up an amazing half of basketball at Sydney Entertainment Centre. Darren Lucas still talking about that shot, and so will we as we go to a break. The Magic up by 2. Game ahead of us here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. The Magic by 2. Let's have a look at the stats for the first half.
Well, for the Sydney Kings, they really picked up their shooting percentage because they were shooting the ball very poorly. They popped it up to about 60% to round off the half to get them at 48, so they're even with the Magic. Shooting free throws, both teams extremely well. The Magic just can't buy a three-point shot. The Sydney Kings aren't really lighting it up either at 37%. And the rebounds go to the Magic, and the turnovers are even.
Top scorers for the Kings. Donaldson having a good game. Stepped it up in the second quarter, Steve.
Yeah, he sure did. He went 6 for 7 for 13 points in the second quarter. And so that is really good sign for the Sydney Kings. And that's something that they've got to do. Now, Greg Hubbard, he's got 12. Trimmingham has spent a lot of time on the bench at 6, and the other guys have chipped in for a couple of baskets. For the Magic, they've kind of spread it out, and that's good scoring for the Magic. Bolden with 14, Ronaldson, they're trying to get the ball into their interior offense, and Kelly's got 7, Luke's got 7, and Parkey's chipped in for 6.
So, Leon Trimmingham will get more court time. I wonder if that'll be good or bad for the Kings. It can only be good, surely.
Well, the Sydney Kings, they want to play that double team aggressively because they feel like they're really getting hurt by their post players in Bolden and Ronaldson. That's their main focus. The Magic's main focus in their half-court offense is getting the ball down in low. And that's one thing that Brian Gorgon said at halftime. You're wondering how I knew that. I went in and had a chat with him. And Brian Gordon said that because they don't have a primary ball handler since they got rid of their point guard, A.J. Weiner, they want to move the basketball without putting it on the floor and then pass the ball inside. Defensively, what they want to do is they want to be playing those double teams aggressively and with active hands as they're going and getting pieces of the basketball. And he felt like they let up in the second quarter because they got a little bit tired.
Little reminder, too, about the Magic. Rupert Sapwell is playing with injuries. Sam McKinnon overseas, and John Dodge will be back in 4 weeks, they say. Utah gets the ball, patient, and puts it in to square the game up again in the opening seconds.
Well, that was a very, very risky pass. Damian Keough throwing it to Dean Utah. He had good touch on it, but the big fella usually has trouble hauling those passes in and still keeping his footwork, but he did a good job.
Bolden inside the three-point range. Trimmingham gets the rebound. Leon Trimmingham in his few minutes on court has 3 rebounds. Donaldson, Utah. Oh, look at that big hand. Holds the ball up. Whoa. And in the end, a little touch there from David Graham. Gives Sydney the ball back. Well, that's how it was called, I think.
Well, I didn't think no one complained. I mean, I didn't think he could throw a pass that bad.
Keough. Hubbard. Donaldson. Jump shot. Just got a touch there, I think, from Bolden, who did well to get off the floor. But anyway, it missed, and we've got a tied game, and Magic have the ball. Ronaldson finds Lucas.
Let's see if they keep the basketball off of the floor and don't dribble so much. There hasn't been a dribble yet. That's the first one.
Lucas turns it around, can't get it in. Hubbard gets that fortuitously, and now Donaldson takes it up for the Kings, quickens it up. Keough sets for 3. Rebound goes eventually to Kelly. Good matchup with Donaldson there. 2 hard-working, versatile players. Here's Graham on Hubbard. Bolden. Oh, tough play. Oh, Utah gets that to Trimmingham. Now Keogh. Hubbard driving. And Trimmingham. Well, that was strength. Leon Trimmingham showing a bit of muscle under the rack.
Both teams trying to move the basketball up the floor. Neither one of them has a real true point guard, so they try and push the basketball up by the pass. Very, very effective break by the Sydney Kings, changing hands and kicking it to Leon. He did a nice job to finish.
Can't claim the three-point play, but Sydney leads by 2. Graham on the ball for Southeast Melbourne. Ever since that big lead the Magic opened up in the first quarter, it's been very tight. Well, against Darren Lucas, pushing foul.
Well, let's see the replay here. He goes up, he lets the basketball go, and he popped Damian in the head there. He didn't throw his arm out, but that elbow had a nice point to it. Nice drop.
Oh,
Mario Donaldson.
Well, 4-point lead to the Kings. Darren Lucas, incidentally, has 9 rebounds tonight. He's also got 3 fouls and 7 points. He's right in this game everywhere. Southeast Melbourne relying on him stepping up, remembering that McKinnon is out. Kelly tried to take it to the cup. Gets his own rebound and banks it. Mike Kelly wants a contract. 2-point lead to Sydney still.
Tony Ronaldson had no choice but to hold Leon Trimmingham. That was going to be a nasty dunk if he let him go on that one. Very professional foul by Ronaldson. He checks out, and Rupert Sapwell will get the assignment of trying to hold Trimmingham.
Donaldson tearing in there through the keyway to get the ball. Hubbard, a little jump shot, hits it. Sydney opens up a 4-point lead now. David Graham.
Well, that's the difference.
Races it up court.
Sorry, Billy. That's the difference when every single Sydney Kings player comes off of a screen looking to score.
Sapwell on his backside, impact play. No call from the refs.
Rail is on 7 over the back for a push.
Well, anytime you have bad, sorry, Billy, anytime you have bad position like that, like Dean Uthoff had, and has to try and reach around and go over the back of the offensive low post player, you're usually going to get a foul.
Kelly, Bolden, double team, Burrows through it.
Well, Bruce Bolden doing a good job at splitting that double team. Gave the fake outside and then stepped through to the middle. And that one goes on Mario Donaldson.
That's his 3rd. Lucas inside to Sapwell. Kelly shoots it over the top of Donaldson and Trimmingham. Spectacular rebound. Donaldson.
And that's the 3rd three-pointer that Mike Kelly has attempted that is hitting the same spot right in front of the rim.
Sydney's offense breaks down, so both teams cranking it up on the defensive end. Bolden. Ooh, long shot for Bruce Bolden. Nicely snapped up by Donaldson. Trimmingham. What was that? A 6-point lead to the Kings.
Oh, Billy, that was serious. That's a foul on Dean Utah.
Mike Kelly meets the mountain.
Let's check out this hang time here. He gets up. David Graham was silly enough to jump, so he gets in the picture. He'll probably make the back page.
Oh, I'm not going to blame David Graham for that one.
I tell you what, I don't care how high he got up. He was getting dunked on that one. You got to be able to anticipate that one and get out of the picture.
Still, there's a lot of ball game left. 8 minutes in this quarter alone, and Mike Kelly has it in hand. Graham.
Well, see, now the Magic should try and be patient and try and get a layup just like they did right there. Try and take the crowd out of the basketball game, because of that big dunk by Leon Trimmingham, if they just jack up a quick one, then the Kings get another one on transition, then the crowd goes
Donaldson with that little right shoulder shake. Trimmingham steps inside the double team and can't quite finesse the ball down. And, well, that was a fascinating call. Brian Gorgon
just wants his team to get after the basketball. I don't think he was complaining about the call. Leon with a nice little floater there, just short. Bruce Bolden goes up to grab it. He just can't quite get his hand on it.
And Donaldson just can't quite make that shot. Graham takes it back up on the transition for the Magic. And we've got Satwell's pass just took a little deflection, enough for Keogh to hold it. Here's Donaldson, but they quickly surround him. Hubbard, space aplenty, dishes, Trimmingham just gets up from nowhere. 61-55, the Kings lead, just over 7 on the clock, and here he is again, the man who, as I said last week, spends more time in the air than any of the NASA shuttles. Look at that. Leon Trimmingham.
Well, Brian's a little concerned about the defense that the Magic are playing. They really want to keep more pressure on the Sydney Kings and slow that breakdown. The guys are just kicking it up. They need some more defensive pressure. And what do? They put in their defensive specialist, Shane Bright.
Bright is looking for big minutes this year, and so far, pre-season and in the last 2 games, he's deserved them.
Now, this is another thing that the coaching staff was talking about at halftime for the Sydney Kings, was that they have to make adjustments to how the referees are calling the basketball game. That foul was on the arm of Tony Ronaldson, and they've been calling that. They've been calling those arm fouls, and so you can't, if you keep getting those kind of fouls, they're silly fouls. They're not calling the body fouls, but they're calling the slapping fouls.
Bright beautifully taken there as Hubbard went for the big steal, and he shoots it short. Dalton gets the rebound. Hubbard is not going to get this. Yes. Well,
let's take a look at this, because I think that he was retaliating on that one.
Well, Darren Lucas has got another foul.
Well, he got caught retaliating. That's Billy Mildenhall's having a word to Damian Keogh, because Damian had his hands up, gave a nice little cheap shot in the head, and Darren Lucas retaliated, hitting Damian, and that's what happened.
4 fouls for Darren Lucas, but I have to say, he's worked very hard in this game, and I think he's been just a little slightly unlucky. Keogh on the line.
Well, it always happens, Billy. I mean, anytime you retaliate, you might catch one. Anytime you retaliate, then you're the one who's going to get caught.
Keogh hits 2, takes the Sydney lead out to 63-55.
Well, those guys have had plenty of battles. Of course, Damian comes from the Nuttawanning Club, which is in Melbourne. That Leon Trimmingham floating a while. But anyway, those two are going to do battle. They're going to do battle in the future, and they're very professional. They'll go on with the game.
Trimmingham on the line. Now, Southeast Melbourne are in the bonus situation, and we've still got 6.5 minutes left in this quarter. So the game has turned around in that department too, and Bob Turner has made an interesting adjustment in this game as Trimmingham misses the front end. So, well, violation of the lane, was it?
I tell you what.
Lane violation against who? Was it Bolden?
That was on Tony Ronaldson.
Tony Ronaldson. Tough call.
Well, you like to think that it has something to do with the basketball game. Greg Hubbard didn't even step in and try and get the rebound. But hey, if he went in too early, obviously Billy Mildenhall was going to make that call. Personally, I don't like it.
And Sydney leads by 10, with Trimmingham getting the second chance. 6.5 minutes left. Bright walks it up. Played 13 games last year for the Magic. Bearing in mind Perry was out with that Achilles tendon tear or snap. Perry now with Hobart this year. And there's Bright. Lucas, perimeter passing, Parkinson. There's the adjustment Turner's made. Brad Williams into the game for Donaldson. He was marking Parkinson a moment ago. Bruce Bolden, tough play, but can't get it. Ronaldson does. Just getting the Magic slightly back into this ball game. It's an 8-point deficit now, and Brian Gorgon has called his team to the bench. We'll go to a break. Back with more.
Thank you. sure.
No, I'm not.
Charles, you are a role model.
Association with McDonald's Family Restaurants, Nike, Always Jamming, Always Coca-Cola, and Uncle Toby's. Hope you're enjoying the 1994 NBL season.
Third quarter, Sydney and Southeast Melbourne. The Kings have changed this game. Right now they lead by 8 points, outscoring the Magic 16-6 so far. Bob Turner down there at the bottom left of his screen with a host of coaches. Murray Wardle, his new assistant, but also Bernie Slattery, who was his assistant last year and just hasn't got the time to devote to the Kings program this year, is also coming to the games and helping out once again. So a real brains trust there. Trimmingham driving to the bucket.
Well, that was one thing that the Perth Wildcats were able to do to the Sydney Kings in the McDonald's Classic, is anticipate where Leon Trimmingham wanted to go. And that's what Darren Lucas did on that one, getting to the baseline, not allowing Leon Trimmingham to use that jumping ability. You definitely don't want him to get another dunk like he had a little bit earlier in the quarter.
Foul trouble though for him. Then Utah has 4 as well. Parkinson off the rim. But cleaned up. Oh, Ronaldson.
Oh,
runs into Mark Dalton.
That one's on Mark Dalton. And he doesn't like it. You see right here, the only thing to watch here is Tony Ronaldson's left arm. Let's see if he clears out. No, he didn't. And a lot of times that's what the defensive player is complaining about when he goes up straight to make a block on the shot, and the offensive player is allowed to use that other arm to clear off with. But on that case, Ronaldson went straight up.
16 points, Tony Ronaldson, a game high so far.
That might have gone off Greg Hubbard's foot.
That is a magic ball, yes. He's a clever little player.
That's a risky pass, and that the Magic doing a good job of showing that full court pressure exactly when they need a momentum change.
Bolden, plenty of time, and rims out. Trimmingham gets another defensive rebound, takes him to 3.
Very nice pass by Brad Williams to get the ball to Mark Dalton to finish that break.
Brad Williams not on the scoreboard, but he has an assist to his name. Almost taken by Hubbard in the end. Theo, breakout for the Kings. It's Hubbard. Oh, tip in, jam, and the Kings out by 10 points. That Hubbard shot was not going to make it.
Well, these are the ones that Leon Trimmingham loves when there's pressure on the layup guy. He knows he's going to finish, but look who was there with him, Brad Williams. He can do that too.
Trimmingham with 16 points for the game. He's now within 4 of Mario Donaldson.
And Billy Millenhall gives Leon Trimmingham the warning about hanging on the rim. And you're not allowed to do that unless there's pressure and you're afraid of falling.
Ronaldson now to Parkinson. Heavy pressure from Brad Williams. Wants to make the most of his minutes. Ronaldson. He's tough. Gets the ball back off the block and puts the 2 points down.
Well, he's as good as any Australian or imported player down low. And that's a weapon that the Magic have got to use more often.
Great article on Tony Ronaldson in the recent One-on-One magazine. Fascinating player and will be an Australian legend, I feel. He's got a long way to go, but he's done so much so soon. Well, Trimmingham's been pulled up again here, but the ball is caught against the Magic.
I'll tell you what, this referee was standing almost in front of us. I couldn't see anything. We're at the same angle.
Well, Bob Turner just having a yak with Mario Donaldson, but he couldn't complain about that call. We may be able to see that again. We'll just see. In the meantime, Trimmingham is on the free throw line, hoping to expand the Kings' 8-point lead. He does. Let's have a look at it now, Steve.
Okay, I'm not sure if we can see it from this angle. He turns around.
Well, the Magic were calling for a travel, I think. I don't think David Graham never moved a muscle.
Very, very unfortunate call for the Magic on that one.
10-point lead to the Kings, though, and we've got just on 4 minutes in this quarter. Williams trying to shake Parkinson off his game. Not quite the big night he had last night, Andrew Parkinson. Oh, yeah. Well, Bruce Bolden, 16 points. So tough. He's shooting 50% and he's facing a lot of pressure.
The Kings going to their triangle offense. This is an offense that's supposed to get more openings for Birmingham. Brad Williams with the bank, but he got all backboard.
A little nervous shot there from Brad Williams in his first NBL game. He played pretty big minutes in the McDonald's Classic. But then most of the coaches of those 4 teams. Oh, Ronaldson shoots short. Oh, Shane Bright claims a rebound on offense.
Those are about the only rebounds he's going to get. The ones that bounce out of somebody's hands and into his.
He'll take it. Parkinson. Now Graham. Bright. Nice pass. Doesn't quite make it though. And Brad Williams, bit of composure needed there. Hubbard takes it up. Still, the pace has not lessened. Williams down in back play. Donaldson slowing it down a little bit. Very important player in the Kings franchise, Mario Donaldson. Here's Dalton, back to the bucket. Takes up closer and can't get it down though, gets his rebound. Finds Donaldson. So Sydney just showing a little patience here. Plenty of time, shot clock resumes. Donaldson shakes off Graham. And nice attempted tip in there. Sydney's still doing well in offensive rebounds, but Bright tearing away. Oh! Donaldson swats, but Graham sets for 3 and can't bank it. Oh, what's going to happen here?
Mario Donaldson was not fooled by that reverse layup by Shane Bright. I know we're going to get another look at this. He comes up, tries to fool him, come out there, so what? Big block. Let's check it out from another angle. Mario Donaldson getting his steps together. You can see it right there. He had both sides covered. That was a nice play.
Southeast Melbourne in the bonus. So Brad Williams will get a chance here, I think, to make his first NBL points. His first Mitsubishi Challenge points. No. Dalton can't quite control the rebound, but Bruce Bolden does. And carefully, cleverly,
Bruce gives
his team the ball.
He gives the refs the famous Bolden stare. Felt like he was fouled by Mark Dalton on that rebound.
I've never seen Bruce smile during a game.
Neither have I.
Mike Kelly.
No basket.
Draws a foul against the rookie.
And this is one of the things that the Sydney Kings have been working on in training. And they should be too, because sometimes you just can't overplay and harass a good, smart player like Mike Kelly. He waits for you to get out of position, and then he'll take you to the basket. You don't want to put him to the line either. He's a good free throw shooter.
Sydney in the bonus as well now, so. Kelly makes the front end of the 1-and-1.
Mike Kelly was a teammate of Mike Mitchell from the Gold Coast. Pretty handy pair.
10 points and 9 boards. And if he can crank up a few assists late in the game, he's only got 1. So he's going to come up with a lot of assists now to make a triple-double. But Mike Kelly is the sort of player who can.
Oh, man.
A screen from Mark Dalton.
That's weak. That's just weak. Watch this. He's called for pushing out. Now that is a weak call. That's weak. I hate that.
Shane Bright. Shane Bright.
Brian Gorgian has a good right to be upset on that one. That's just awful.
Jody Austin, the man they call late night Jody Austin. This is the front end of a 1-and-1. So the score is 71-64 to the Kings. We've gone through just a little drought here at both ends of the floor. Nicely done, David Graham, off balance. Now Kelly. Right inside to Bolden. Good, opens up the 3. Oh, he hits it. The basket's not going to count. The foul's gone against Bruce Bolden. Oh. Brian Gorgon must be...
That's right, Billy. He cannot understand why Bruce would have fouled on that play, because Shane Bright was wide open for the three, and he can hit that standstill.
And a dunk from Trimmingham. Jody Austin can have that one. That was a great pass. Jody Austin, the man who actually has more rebounds than points in his few minutes with the Kings. Didn't play last year, as we said earlier, but in 18 games, he's got 9 rebounds and 8 points. Oh, bold and tough, goes up against Williams and Trimmingham. Draws the foul. Oh, this game has got lots.
Right across the arm.
There's some Magic just hanging in there, not allowing the crowd to get into it too much. Nice rebound here by Bolden. Good rebounders go after everything. Goes up right where the pressure is, tries to get himself a three-point play. He's going to the line for 2.
Bruce Bolden adds a point. Finding it harder to score in this half. 17 points. Make it 18. Tied with Ronaldson for a game high for the Magic. Inside a minute now in this quarter, and it's been right up there with the other 2. Williams. Donaldson looks at the options, and when he's got the ball in hand, there are usually more than one. Williams dumps it! And Brad Williams opens his Mitsubishi Challenge account, and it's great to see the rookies get in there.
That's right. He opens it up with a bang, too, and he is capable of doing a lot of things. Bruce Bolden down low, and Mark Dalton showing some great hustle. But he's on the back of Bruce Bolden. He'd go to the line. Shoot 1 and 1 in the bonus.
Mark Dalton has 4 fouls. Here's Brad Williams again.
Nice. He'll want to keep this. Nice pass by Donaldson. And there you go, Brad Williams. And I tell you what, a couple of games down the road, a little more experience under his belt, he might turn around and reverse that.
And I hope Mr. and Mrs. Williams had the VCR running on that one. Bruce Bolden puts the free throw down. 75-67, the Kings lead. 15 seconds in this quarter. Bruce Bolden now goes to 19 points for the game. Oh, there's a lot of basketball in this one. Oh. Well, everything's happening here, including a Bruce Bolden miss. Austin holds it up for Donaldson. Double team. Alston. Williams. Dalton. Austin. And nice defense from the Magic. They run the clock down against the Kings. But Sydney does have the lead. An 8-point lead at 3/4 time at the Entertainment Centre. We'll be back.
From the depths of the sea, back to the black.
The pride of Sydney, the pumpin' and dunkin' Sydney Coca-Cola Kings. They're back and good to go. The Kings clash with the Magic at the Sydney Entertainment Centre, Saturday, the 9th of April. Tip-off at 7:30. And the champions, Sydney 2WS Flames, take on Perth at 6 o'clock. They fight it out again. An explosive start to the 94 Mitsubishi Challenge. The Kings versus the Magic. Tickets at Ticketek. Always the Kings.
Set for some final quarter action at the Kingdome. Sydney shooting 50% now in this game. The Southeast Melbourne's 42. That has dramatically changed from the first quarter when Southeast Melbourne was out shooting Sydney clearly. But a game of defensive tactics. And we go to the last 12 minutes now. Trimmingham tips it off to Dalton, who tries to go away. Kelly screaming for the ball. Now, did he get a touch before it went in? Yes. Sydney to resume. Mike Kelly, he's in everything yet again. He's not going to get a triple-double, but he's got 10 points at, well, 36% from the field, but he's done a lot of other things too. Assist, 9 boards.
Well, he's not having a great game. He's had some open shots too. He's just been short right on the front of the rim. But you got to credit the Sydney Kings defense for turning the shooting percentage around for the Magic to make them be shooting 42% the way the Magic started the basketball game. Very focused on the offensive end of the floor.
Trimmingham gets around Donaldson. Ronaldson puts it down for 2, and Sydney back out to a 10-point lead.
Now it's Trimmingham doing the damage for the Sydney Kings, just like the last time they played in the Classic. David Graham with a trade.
Well, that is a David Graham trademark, but it's the first he's got tonight. In fact, the first the Magic have got tonight. They're 1 for 10 from three-point range, which is going to hurt their game, because right now, without John Dorge in the middle, there's a lot of pressure on guys like Ronaldson and Bolden.
On that last play phase, the Magic double-teaming Mario Donaldson on the penetration, had active hands and got a piece of the pass. He was trying to go to Keogh, as he does there. They've got to find the open man and find it on a reversal quickly. Donaldson steps up, shot.
Well, he shouldn't have to make shots like that. David Graham, Kelly, 7-point ball game after the Graham three. It was a timely one. Now, Ronaldson, tough play. Oh, goes down and deserves it too, Tony Ronaldson. 20 points for the game, 7 rebounds. And it's a 5-point game. Sorry, Steve.
That's all right, Billy. When the fourth quarter comes around, that's a true test of running your offense.
Hubbard drives baseline. Oh, risky pass. Donaldson. Keogh's got to shoot. And hits it.
That's a good shot by Damian Keogh, but that is terrible offense. The Sydney Kings really reaching there. They had no set play on that. Greg Hubbard jumped in the air, didn't have anywhere to go, got a nice floater of a pass to connect to his teammates. That's not going to last much longer. 10 minutes to go in the game. They got to have better offense than that. Bruce Bolden goes in for a high percentage shot, and he got clubbed.
Yeah, I'll say the big Mark Dalton club there. Mark's smiling.
See Bruce Bolden there. The Sydney Kings defense in a lot of trouble. Actually got a lot of the basketball. But anytime you hammer your arm down like that, trying to swat the basketball away. Actually, it looked like he got all ball. Maybe he got some body.
Bolden. 20 points for the game. Ian Ronaldson carrying the scoring. The next highest for the Magic is Kelly with 10. And hits the second. Bolden down to the game high for his team. Contrast to last night against Illawarra when the Magic shared the scoring around very evenly. Keogh finds Hubbard. Donaldson will get it back. And Utah checks into the game for the Kings, gives Mark Dalton a breather. And good to see Mark Dalton's knee holding up too. But there's Dean Utah, 4 points only for the game with 7 boards. In a little foul trouble too. Donaldson, double team, got a great pass to Keogh. Sometimes a player like Donaldson, you just have to be there. Trimmingham. Nice turnaround jump shot. 82 plays 74.
Right, not a lot that D can do. David Graham with a 3. He's feeling it. Big forward by Leon Trimmingham.
He just gets up there and stays as long as he wants. Donaldson takes on Kelly. See you later.
Oh, is that how you finish a drive to the baseline or what?
84-74. The Kings imports showing us some hoops at the entertainment center. The basket won't count. The foul goes.
Look at this drive. Takes off just inside the key. Boom. That's a quick one.
David Graham. Kelly. Turnaround. Jumps it over the head of Donaldson. And a rebound, which was from a King's hand. Goes back to Bolden. Now Graham. The Magic now with a little bit of turning around to do it themselves. Lucas can't get the shot down. That won't help the percentage, which right now is 42 from the field. Keogh tries to shake off Ronaldson. Donaldson jumping the tree. Feels like he can hit it anywhere tonight. Not that time. Graham takes it back down court. There it is. Sydney by 10. Ronaldson inside. And he has worked hard tonight, Tony Ronaldson.
Oh, he sure does. He had great position on that play. Used that big backside to hold off the defense. Just run on him the opposite way for a nice little roll to the basket. And that's why he is one of the best, if not the best, young Australian player in the country.
He's having to play a lot of minutes while John Dorge is out. But as I mentioned earlier, and that came from Ian Stacker, the assistant coach for the Magic, John Dorge is only 4 weeks away, and that's great news. Well, Utah was buried there by Bolton, and really, that came off Graham, so the Kings are okay.
Now there's only 7 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to make one and make it quick.
Hubbard tries to go all the way. Kelly cleans up. Now this is where Sydney's got to stabilise, otherwise the Magic can hurt him. Oh, well, that won't help. Hubbard. Donaldson. Hubbard. Well, Sydney should have scored by now. Utah. Well, a play that should have ended in points, thanks to some great Magic hustle, has ended in Dean Utah on the free throw line. Ronaldson, the one who drew the foul. He's not too happy about that call.
On the replay, you can see right there, good D by all the Magic guys getting back. Nice little block. Takes that one from Greg Hubbard. Dean Utah is fouled. He's going to go to the line for 2.
Tony Ronaldson still on court. He's got 5 fouls.
There's a couple of different theories on this. This is a very key part of the game. The Sydney Kings can get away and make this a blowout, or they can leave Tony Ronaldson in because it's kind of like now or never.
So, that was flat. That was about the flattest free throw you'll ever see, but still makes it. But still, Sydney up by 9, and they've got to try and hold out the Magic. Brian Gorgian will have a few tricks up his sleeve yet. That's one of them. David Graham for 3.
That was a play designed for a 3-point shot, and they executed it very well, and that's pretty gutsy because they're shooting from the 3-point line 2 for 11.
Well, David Graham having 8 points for the game, but 6 of those came from 2 key threes in the last couple of minutes. Dalton, no options. Now there's something going off the ball. It's an offensive foul. And it's against Dean Utah, who's in foul trouble now. That means he and Dalton are on 5 each. Trimmingham's on 5. So with over 7 minutes left in the game, the Magic now have a lot in their favor.
And this is a very tight game. 6 points. Only the difference, Bruce Bolden with the jump shot, they just can't make a shot. That's their problem. That takes their shooting percentage down to 43%.
Keogh on David Graham. And Rupert Satwell's about to come into the game for the Magic. Donaldson on Kelly. Good screen from Dalton. Sets open Hubbard. No. And Dalton, a great rebound. Very important. Oh, Mark Dalton.
Oh, man.
Well, Dalton, very lucky to get away with that shove on Shane Bryant.
He was, wasn't he? That was just a mental error by Bruce Bolden.
Oh, Donaldson can't buy it. Kelly cleans up, and this is a critical point in this game. Just over 6 minutes left. Sydney leads by 6, and Ronaldson so tough. It counts, and he draws the foul. That is great play. Well, is Tony Ronaldson in foul trouble going to be the man who takes the Magic back into this ball game? Mark Dalton is out. 6 fouls. And we'll take a little break as well. Back with more action. The Magic lead down by 4 at the Entertainment Centre.
A seductive client, an infamous case.
Gorgian going through it with the Magic.
When you dribble it there and David comes off, if they're playing behind Bruce, we can roll it into him on the first thing. We can also look at David coming off the double, Bruce tracing the ball, or Tony tracing the ball. Hey, fellas. Let's go. We cut this in 6 minutes. 6 good minutes. Good shots. Desperate on the defense. Come on, come on. Magic, I got 2 timeouts. One of the guys in foul.
Brian Gorgian, the master coach. And now he's had David Graham hit 2 threes. Tony Ronaldson, tough as ever inside. And it's a 4-point game, probably less, with Ronaldson going to try and convert the extra point from that last play. And as he said, just over 6 minutes, Steve, I think the Kings are in a bit of trouble.
Well, they are in a bit of trouble. I mean, especially since the Magic have the momentum going as Tony Ronaldson gets that one to trickle in. And the Kings have missed their last 4 shots. They haven't scored from the field in 3 minutes.
And the full court press is back on. Donaldson trying to get away from Kelly. Not many options. Heavy defense. Oh, Donaldson for Trimmingham. Good rebound. Can't get it in. Who got that in?
Trimmingham. A lot of traffic in there.
Where did that come from, though?
But he's one of those quick leapers. Sometimes it doesn't even look like he bothers to land. And he goes right back up and gets that second effort shot. Great effort by Leon Trimmingham.
I thought that almost came off the back of his hand. Kelly finds Bright, sets for 3. Oh, big play, Shane Bright. Well, now we've got a 2-point ball game.
And once Shane Bright gets his feet set, he's probably their best 3-point shooter.
Well, Trimmingham did well to take that pass, but he can't convert it to points. Oh, Graham trips on Utah's foot. Nothing intentional, but Trimmingham gets the ball back and falls himself. Well, now Bright's got the ball. Ronaldson opens bold enough, but no. 2 points in the game, 5 minutes left. I don't think we can last.
Billy, these teams are playing like, well, at the moment, both teams are playing like neither one of them wants to win. They're playing like there's 5 seconds on the clock instead of 5 minutes. This is a 2-point basketball game with 5 minutes to go. Every possession is so important. You can see why these guys are so concerned because their teams are playing awful.
And what do they do? Sydney has 3 players on 5 fouls. In fact, I'm sorry, 2. Dalton's out of the game. Hubbard has to shoot. And does!
That's a big 3-point basket. That takes it out to 5, 90 to 85. Big basket by Greg Hubbard. And let's see if the Magic can answer on the other end of the floor and execute some O.
Bolden. And Bolden hits it. Well, they're starting to find the net now. Both teams, it's a 3-point game. Sydney shooting 5 for 13 from 3-point range, but the Magic fast catching up at 3 for 12. There's so much defensive pressure. There may well be a few more 3s taken in this game before it finishes. Hubbard almost shot it there. Mike Kelly quickly out. Hubbard tries to go for the drive. What was that? Bright tearing away down court. Graham sets for 3. Hubbard gets the ball back. But it's 1-on-4, so he holds it up. Pio.
Well, that's a shot David Graham can hit.
Dean Utah, classic inside play from the big man.
Just too big for David Graham down there. Mismatch. He had David Graham sealed off. Down low. There's nothing he can do. Dean Utah puts it back in.
7 points for the game, Dean Utah, and 7 rebounds.
Well, the Magic have the luxury of pulling out one good 3-point shooter, David Graham, and putting in Andrew Parkinson. They're hoping for some late-game heroics. Tony Ronaldson.
Keanu Donaldson, breakout time for the Kings. They lead by 5. Now Hubbard for 3. And sits down. Well, Sydney leads 95-87. Timeout call to the Magic. And we'll go to a break. They're asking for an explanation from Billy Mildenhall.
Interpretation, Brian.
Well, I must say, the Magic have had a fair beef tonight with some of the calls. They did see a huge turnaround there from offense to a 3-point shot hit against them.
Well, Brian is just absolutely furious at his players for leaving Greg Hubbard open on those last 2 3-pointers. He was on that last one. He was uncontested, and he is shooting the ball well from outside the 3-point stripe. He's 4 for 6. 67%, of course, outside the 3-point. And Bruce right here, nice little dish to Tony Ronaldson. That's the big block that starts the break for the Sydney Kings. Ronaldson can't believe he didn't get hit with a body.
That's why Brian was remonstrating with Billy Mildenhall. They felt they should have got the call at the other end. Now, from that play, Sydney came down and hit the 3 with Hubbard.
Well, that's right, Billy. I mean, all the players and coaches want the referees to do is be consistent. And they've been letting a lot of body calls go. That's been pretty consistent. And the thing is, the hand fouls they've been pretty tight on.
Now, we've got 3 minutes, 21 seconds in this game, and Brian Goorjian has only 1 timeout left. So if it comes down to the wire, it'll be interesting to see how he uses that timeout.
Well, I thought he really needed to use that timeout then because the crowd is ready to take the roof off of this place.
Oh, Bolden tough, but he was double teamed all the way. Donaldson just slowing it up a little bit. Full court pressure still on. Donaldson, the sort of player, he can take the ball up, he can get inside. Holding foul called against the Magic.
Well, the Kings making no mistake on that one. Don't even reverse the basketball. Get the basketball right into Leon Trimmingham. Even with a double team, he forces the foul.
Well, Andrew Parkinson, he's down in the foul count, so he can get in there and he can afford to do some tough defensive work. And no one's in the bonus yet, so Sydney get it back from the side. Donaldson banks it. So the Kings go out to a 10-point lead. 24 for the game, Mario Donaldson. 2 behind Trimmingham. Oh, alley-oop play. Didn't come off, but Keogh all over Bruce Bolden there at the end of Ronaldson's pass.
That was the weirdest alley-oop play I've ever seen. Usually an alley-oop, you throw it right to the guy. Then look at the arc on it. Well, I guess he had to get it over Leon Trimmingham. And Keogh makes no mistake and fouls him pretty tough. Bruce gave him that ever so famous glare. He usually saves that for the referees, though.
A little shaky, but it narrows the Sydney lead to 9.
The Kings have got to be very careful of becoming stagnant on the offensive end of the floor. Now they play aggressive and play hard to get a lead. They got to still look for their open shots. The Magic want to keep a lot of pressure on.
Oh, Donaldson taking it to the cup. Draws the foul. It's against Bolden this time. That means Bolden goes to 3 fouls. He's pretty right. Remembering, Tony Ronaldson is on 5 fouls. Haven't seen Darren Lucas for a while. Donaldson makes it. Sydney by 9.
Well, he's got a wealth of players in that group right there in that 2-3 position. It's Donaldson. That's the other free throw down. That takes him to 26 points.
Sydney 71% from the free throw line tonight. Definitely an improvement on last year. Kelly. Bright. Sydney trying to crank it up. But bearing in mind, Utah and Trimmingham on 5 fouls each. Well, this is just luck. And it's gone with the Kings. Hubbard. Oh, can't control it. But Trimmingham gets it back. And down. Kingdom is on fire. 101 to 89.
That's just tremendous hustle by both ball clubs. 3-pointer by Mike Kelly's off the target.
Great rebound from Trimmingham. Hubbard in the hand. Lip pass Donaldson. What's he going to do? And the Kings are racing home, and Brian Goorjian will chew up his final timeout right now. Sydney 103-89, the biggest lead of the game by anybody. And the Kings have picked just the right time to do it. 1 minute 36 on the clock. Here it is.
Greg knew if he could handle the basketball clean. He had 2 people wide open for 2 points down at the other end. He gets the ball to Mario Donaldson, and he finished nice.
Stay strong now. Let's finish this up. If Utah gets the ball, foul it, all right? We need a quick shot, all right? So now I'm sending Parkinson or David Graham into the line of the basket. That postman wants to turn and pick him. Wait till he gets the 3-point line.
Okay, let's have a look at the Kings camp now. And I'll tell you what, the scoring, 28 to Donaldson, 28 to Trimmingham, 20 to Greg Hubbard. Interesting thing about Hubbard is that the Kings Kings are 6-2 when Hubbard scores over 20. They're 0-5 when he scores 10 or less. Hubbard's got his 20 points, and that means the Kings are on their way to a win.
What that means is those guys are hitting the open shots. Mario Donaldson's going to create a lot of mismatches and double teams, and the same with Leon Trimmingham. What's going to help the Kings is if those guys, Greg Hubbard, Damian Keogh, and Dean Uthoff, can pick up those extra rebounds and put them back in. If those guys can get in the scoring column, take some of the scoring pressure off the two imports, are going to be successful.
Shane Bright finds Parkinson. Oh, tough jump shot for three. A lot of pressure from Keogh, and the foul goes against him. Keogh, 4 fouls, 1 minute 30 on the clock. Parkinson on the free throw line, and they really have to try and buy some time in this game.
What you want
back in there, 14 points down.
You don't want to foul because you don't want to stop the clock when you're ahead. You definitely don't want to foul a guy from outside the three-point line. That was a tough shot he was going to take. Plus, it stops the clock. There's still a long way to go for the Magic. The stranger things have happened. And the Kings try to have their best free throw shooters on the court. It wouldn't surprise me if the Kings take out Dean Uthoff and put in a better free throw shooter.
Parkinson gets his 3 from the line. Uthoff, long pass, Trimmingham did well to even touch that. And a pushing foul goes against Andrew Parkinson. Oh, here it is.
Well, that's a long, risky pass. And Leon would have caught it. That was a very good pass. Leon would have caught it, but Andrew Parkinson just putting too much pressure on. That was a good foul. He prevented 2 points. Now they have another chance to pressure.
Well, Dean Uthoff counting on the long arms of Trimmingham. That'll be another Sydney ball, but of course, as much as the Magic hustle, time's running down, 1 minute 22. They're doing well to stop Sydney scoring, but they've got to get the ball in hand if they're going to chop this lead down. This 11-point lead to the Kings. That's a risky pass, but Trimmingham is in there. Good reject from Andrew Parkinson, however. Foul goes against the Magic again.
They're desperate. That's a tough pass to throw into Leon Trimmingham, but I tell you what, if you throw it up in the air, there's not too many people who are going to prevent him from catching the basketball. He's got good hands, too. He goes up there. His hands are like suction cups. He pulls in just about everything that's near him.
Well, as Trimmingham goes to the line, I just noticed that Dalton has 8 rebounds for the game, having fouled out. Trimmingham makes the break. And Uthoff has 7 rebounds. Now, for Sydney to succeed this year, those 2 guys have to take boards, and they've done that tonight.
Well, anytime the Sydney Kings have been successful, the 2 imports have combined for about 60 points, and they've done that tonight.
Having said that, Trimmingham's got 13, the game high. So he can do a lot, given the chance. But Dalton and Uthoff, if they can take the pressure off him, makes a big difference. Trimmingham, and Sydney leads 105-92, just over a minute left in this ball game, and Shane Bright brings it up. Graham tried to go all the way. Foul goes against Greg Hubbard. 3 for the game.
And Greg can't believe it.
Now Keogh having a chat to the Kings in the huddle. Brad Williams is on court for Uthoff. Still a lot of basketball left here, but I might add Brian Gorgian has no more timeouts. So should the Magic do the amazing and get close, the options have to be taken on the court. Graham gets there, so 11-point game, and nice intercept from Satwell, but unfortunately for the Magic, Williams is there for Hubbard, and he's going to chew a little time up here sensibly. Big pressure though, double team, jump ball. Well, Hubbard screams at the call.
That's good D by the Magic. I mean, I don't know why the Kings are taking all these chances with these long passes. They just ought to take some time off the clock and relax. They're still a little pumped up. Maybe they should save that for after the game when they're waving to the crowd. Greg didn't like that call, but hey, there was no call, and then he got a piece of the basketball, and he tied him up.
Well, Steve, that might just be what Bob Turner's saying to them now in that huddle.
Use your body, get the possession. Stay
spread offense is. That's to open the basketball court so you can just throw the basketball around and you don't have to dribble the basketball. The Sydney Kings have been working at this for the last couple of weeks since the McDonald's Classic, and now putting it to use in the Mitsubishi Challenge.
And they got the ball from this tip-off. Donaldson.
Now they'll spread the court and try and pass the basketball and not put it on the floor too much. And
foul on David Graham. Not much more the Magic can do right now, but gee, you don't want to foul Mario Donaldson.
Well, a good team will get the basketball and try and keep the basketball in their best free throw shooter's hands and try and get it to Mario Donaldson, Leon Trimmingham, Damian Keogh, or Greg Hubbard. And saying that, he misses.
Sapwell. Bright. Pressure game now. Bright well wide. Oh, Parkinson in there. Graham, they're going to set up the outside shot. And it's down. David Graham, 3 points. And it's an 8-point game. Brad Williams.
Traveled. Why do you make that pass to Brad Williams in traffic? That's not Brad Williams' fault. You don't throw the ball to a guy in traffic when you got a 12-point lead.
Oh, Parkinson for 3. Well, we've got a 5-point ball game right here. 20 seconds left.
And there's another foul.
Well, this is sensible play from the Magic.
This game's far from over, Billy. And the thing is, you have to take care of the basketball. You have to make the right decisions. Now, there have been a couple of occasions the Kings have thrown long passes trying to get an extra point. They're not trying to score points. They want the clock to run down. A risky pass. If they don't call a foul, if there's a foul, they get it. Greg Hubbard's going to go to the line. This is a big one.
Oh, yeah. He makes it. And that helps the Kings. Greg Hubbard, 5 for 5 tonight from the line. 6 is knocked down. Williams. Oh, goes to Keogh. Trimmingham. Foul.
And that's a bad break for the Magic because they had that board. If they had any hope of winning that basketball game, it went right down the tubes when Sapwell wasn't able to grab that rebound.
I just noticed Brad Williams standing next to Bruce Bolden. He's tall for a guard, Brad Williams, no doubt about it. 6-point lead to the Kings. Trimmingham makes it 7. And they got the staggers badly. I tell you what, they can get 2 new imports and 2 new young players, but it's still the Sydney Kings giving their fans a heart attack at the end of a game. Doesn't matter who plays for them.
Not to mention their coach, Bob Turner.
Yeah. An 8-point lead. Parkinson, tough shot, shoots short. Keogh holds it up, draws the foul. And this game's going to end on the line.
The personal foul, number 32, Bruce Bolden. That sends the Rio to the free throw line.
You got to give the Magic enormous credit for scrapping out to the last seconds, hitting 2 big threes under pressure and making Sydney work to secure this game. Keogh probably does that now. It's 9 points and only 5 seconds.
Well, Bob's got to be very pleased with how his troops came out tonight, but one thing I'm sure he's not happy about is how they handled the situations late in the basketball game.
Parkinson, big shot. It's long. The rebound does not go to anybody, but this game, the first of 1994 at the Entertainment Centre, goes to the Sydney Kings. The Magic have split their road double, and they shouldn't be too unhappy with that. They went to 2 tough venues, and I tell you what, they made it a very, very tough game for Sydney. Even down to the last seconds. Big games from Trimmingham, Donaldson and Hubbard. For the Magic, a big game from Ronaldson and Bolden. But we'll come back and talk more about that after this. Must drop it. Better start to the season for Sydney fans than to see the Kings tear up southeast Melbourne in an incredible basketball game at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. And the man responsible, or at least one of the men responsible, but he had a great game, Super Mario Donaldson. That was a real click performance from the Kings, wasn't it? You just got it together.
Well, we played well. We knew Magic was going to come out trapping, and I think we worked hard on it. Bob really got us ready for it. And I think everybody was conscious on where they were supposed to be at, and it was a great team effort.
Mario, what's the difference between a team like Perth, who obviously did some things against you and made you get out of your offense, and tonight against the Magic? They did a lot of things to take you out of your offense early, but you seemed to make the adjustments.
Well, I thought we were just ready tonight, you know. I can't take anything away from the Magic. You know, they played last night, so naturally it's going to be a step slow. But we were ready for the trap. I mean, we were prepared, and when they came with it, we were able to attack. Otherwise, in Perth, we wasn't as ready, and we fumbled the ball a lot, and so we didn't score, and so that kind of got us stagnated. But tonight, we attacked, and we scored, and that put the pressure on them.
And what about Leon and Greg? They played great games tonight.
Well, Leon, I can't say enough about Leon. I mean, he didn't hardly play because of foul trouble, but still ending up with 32 points. Every time in the second half, I mean, I tried to get him the ball every time I could. And Greg, they just kept leaving and double-teaming me on the wing or Keogh on the wing, leaving Greg wide open. He's just a pure shooter. You cannot do that.
Mario, you guys were great, but it seems the role players also did their job tonight. We mentioned during the game that Dalton and Uthoff took some valuable rebounds, just gave Leon a bit more space in the keyway.
I mean, you just can't say enough about those guys. I mean, Brad Williams coming off the bench played well. I mean, all those guys hitting the boards and doing the things. Dean just rebounding and playing tough, aggressive defense. I mean, even though they kept fouling and different things like that, but they stayed right with it, kept the defense up tough, and that really helped us.
How ready are the Kings? What percentage would you say you're at this stage of the season?
Well, I don't want to make any predictions, but I can say that we're going to take each game one step at a time. We're going to try to come out and win every night.
Much improvement left?
Well, yes. I mean, every time you play, you try to improve. You try to get better at the mistakes that we made. So all we can do now is just try to improve our game, stay with it, and not get a big head, but concentrate on each game.
Congratulations on a great start.
Thank you. All right.
Mario Donaldson, he had a hot hand tonight. He came up with some magnificent plays. Let's go through some of the stats, though, for this game. And there's a real story in this one, Steve.
Well, it sure was. I mean, just a fantastic game to watch. It was so physical. That's probably why there were so many different momentum changes. The Sydney Kings started off slow, but then he really picked it up. Shooting percentage, 51%. That's great for the Kings. Good free throw shooting percentage by the Magic probably kept them in the basketball game. They finally hit a three-point shot in the fourth quarter, and that took them up to 26% after making a few. The rebounds were pretty tight, and the turnovers, too.
Quarter by quarter, the Kings were down by 13 points at one stage in the first quarter. They ended at 11 behind. Then the game started to swing. Sydney got their act together, as Mario said, made the adjustments to the trap, 49-51. And after that, they had a pretty good handle on this game, and it was the Magic chasing.
Well, that's right. I mean, I think the Sydney Kings went out and they made the adjustments. You knew the Magic was going to come out and they're going to throw them a lot of things, but they seemed to work really well. Leon Trimmingham, like Mario said, a lot of foul trouble, didn't play much of the game, but still had 32 points. Donaldson with 28, Hubbard 21. Boy, it sure helps when those guys contribute like that. Damian Keogh 11 and Utah 7. The Magic played a great game. You can't take anything away from them. Ronaldson, boy, is he the man down low. Him and Bolden had 25 each. David Graham got 13 late points. Parkinson came in and contributed. And Mike Kelly was a little bit slow.
And you've got to remember that there's not many teams that can compete like the Magic did after having such a late import change and two players out of the lineup in Dorge and McKinnon. Ahead, we're going to look at all that and a lot more. Comprehensive review of the weekend in basketball. Steve does a wonderful story on Mario Donaldson, as a matter of fact. It's something to look forward to. And also an amazing segment from Paul Kuiper. Believe me, it is worth waiting for. Plenty of other action too on Network 10. The basketball continues with Saturday basketball as well. But until tomorrow, we'll catch you.
We'll see you in a few hours.
One to 14, and then the points were added up at the end, and Perth clearly on